This podcast is hosted and sponsored by eXp Realty and Mike Nelson, Integrity Home Group.
Hey everyone, I am back again. Super excited today for yet another power-packed guest that's coming to the table wanting to talk to us and us. Super excited about this opportunity. You're obviously watching the Real Estate Fanatics program, and this particular person I have a fairly close relationship with because she started the business and we watched her grow and blossom. And so today I want to bring you Kristy Lee, which is a Porchlight of Northern Colorado agent. So obviously some opportunities up here for her if you're looking in the area. Also, before we get started on that, just don't forget, you can reach out to me if you have any questions or you want to connect with Kristy or any of that stuff on mycalendly.com/Mike Nelson IHG, and we can connect you. We can answer any questions you may have about anything that Kristy brings up that may be of interest to you. However, with that, we're going to kind of get it going with a little bit of Kristy's going to talk today about starting with a team and then going off independent and some of those benefits and challenges and successes and some other stuff. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Kristy. Give us a little bit of your background and your bio, and let's go.
Hey, Mike. Thank you for having me today. So just to kind of talk a little bit about me, I've been in real estate for 3 years, and obviously, I started off with you at Keller Williams and your team, and I went solo with Porchlight a little over a year ago. So just the kind of differences between being on a team and being an independent agent. I mean, there are significant differences for sure. One thing I will say, if you're starting off in real estate, I highly, highly recommend going to a team first. I couldn't be where I'm at now without first starting with you. Not to give you props or anything, but
wasn't a lead on.
You did your job well. You did do your job well. So I do thank you, and I owe a lot of it to the team, for sure. So
what would you say some of the benefits you saw on just any team, right? Doesn't even have to be our team, but other agents you've seen go on to teams. Like, talk to somebody a little bit about, I think we hear it all the time. It's like, go to KW if you're a new agent, go to a team if you're a new agent. Why?
Accountability, 100% accountability. Obviously, I started right before COVID hit. And if I didn't have the accountability of you and your team, who knows? Who knows what my business would look like? I mean, I would like to think that I would still have thrived, but the accountability of the team was huge because you had to, at least with yours specifically, I can't talk for every team, but yours specifically, you had to be on calls, you had to give updates, you had to do certain goals every single month or every single week, whatever it might be. And so that pushed me to keep going, especially during COVID when we couldn't do a whole lot of anything.
Yeah, we could have. A lot of people got into the woe is me mindset, and they didn't control the things that they can control. And so I know you guys did a great job of buckling down and just the facts of the facts.
Calling people, getting on the phone, making sure you weren't just sitting there watching TV or whatever. I see a lot of independent agents right now who are just starting off, and not with Porchlight or KW anywhere, just in general, that I hear or talk, and they're like, they get frustrated. Okay, I'm just gonna go home and take a nap. Well, especially at the beginning, you can't just go home and take a nap. There's always something to be done. I mean, you could go flyer, you could go door knock, you could do so many things, and that's what the team essentially forced me to do and got me out of my comfort zone to do so. So I think that was huge, 100%.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you can do that. And a lot of them do that, go home and take a nap. And they're the 87% that are out of this business.
Ooh, yeah, it's a tough business. So having the people on you, making sure you are held accountable to what you said you were going to do, and you're going to be talking to 50 people that day or whatever it might be, holding yourself, being held accountable is huge.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we think we're our best accountability partners, or at least when we first get in. And how many times have we looked at weight loss, going to the gym? We look at anything, right? And we're like, if I pay the money, I'm gonna do it, and we still don't, right? So you need, and it doesn't have to be a team in that case. You just need somebody holding you accountable.
Somebody. Yeah.
Not even your family, but somebody.
And with that, and kind of piggybacking off on that, is just learning. You learn from people too. I personally learned from obviously you, but I learned from everybody else who was on the team too, whether they were more seasoned or even if they were new. I learned the goods and the bads, and then, you know, just being able to contact someone for help. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I can't do that now, but it was just like, it was like right there all the time. So It was joining a team. If you're new off, join a team, because it's a very lonely business. Real estate is essentially a very lonely business. And so, you know.
You're absolutely right. And I'm glad you brought that up, because, you know, as business owners, you're pouring so much time and energy into your business, and you know it is a lonely business, and people see it as like, oh, you're with people all the time, you're with family all the time, you're not with family, but other families buying and selling all the time. Yeah. That's great, but that's still not your tribe.
You don't have like the people you talk to like on a daily basis, and you know, you just, it's different than working at an office where you see those same people over and over and over again. You know, when you're by yourself, you don't see it. So having a team there who you do have the calls, you do have the accountability, it makes it a little bit not as lonely, I should say. Yeah, agreed. What would you say is, how do you think a team prepared you? Because I'm a big believer in business owners, creating business owners. I don't want to say I don't care about salespeople, because that's important, but a lot of agents are salespeople. They're not business owners, and we see that time and time again. So what would you say, like, what benefits or value, or how have you grown over 3 years in real estate into being a business owner? And what would you say were some key facts around that? I mean, well, learning what you were supposed to do, like things like as simple as like an LLC, like I wouldn't have known I needed to do stuff like that, you know? So having coaches tell me, hey, these are the things you need to do to get your business going, knowing how much you're putting into your business compared to how much you're getting out of it, that's huge. I mean, reminding yourself you have to take those taxes out of that commission check before you spend it. So like little things like that, I think are good. And then just, you know, how I've evolved, I think, is just knowing what works for me and what doesn't, and not to kind of try to do everything. To really zero down to where now I know where my business is actually thriving with certain areas where it didn't on other areas. So,
yeah, that's a huge point too. And we see that a lot of times in the industry is, let's chase down 12 new things that are coming out instead of really doing something we enjoy, number one.
Yeah.
And let's go deep into that and not try to spread out. And again, as new agents, you see that a lot.
Well, you're trying to do everything. You're trying to make money because you don't have any coming in. So you definitely are trying. But I will say, you and the team would, you know, openly say, okay, Kristy, like, try 3 things. Like, don't try all 10. Like, try 3, see how they work for the next 6 months. You know, don't wear yourself too thin, because then you're gonna hate it. Bottom line, you're gonna hate it. So,
yeah. And then it creates a circle of lonely, and it creates a circle of no money, and it creates all those bad things.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely, I'm thankful that I've figured out how to work all that to where I'm not lonely, and I find something that I love to do every single day. So it helps me.
No, that's really, really good. So talk to me a little bit about, maybe we can kind of wrap up the last couple of minutes here with regards to, do you want to talk about any of the YouTube channels and some things that you're doing around that?
Yeah. So, I mean, for the longest time, I was chasing leads, you know, buying leads, of course, or getting them for me. And they weren't my thing. They weren't my cup of tea. They were a lot of work. I could honestly say I've not called a single person in the last year and a half. They call me. So this kind of flipped. So I do, and that's another thing I'll give this one to you, is consistency. So consistency is key. And so I actively do, you know, a YouTube channel as well. And I do 2 videos a week religiously for the last year. So I'm up to like 115 videos or whatever. And, you know, and I don't ever miss a day. Like, that's what I do. And that's where my businesses came from. And that's actually really exciting because I'm no longer chasing anybody. I don't pay for leads. They come to me. And the best thing is that they're choosing me. So I'm not trying to win over their business. It's already there. They just
Yeah, and I think strategically, it's been an interesting dynamic shift, right? Is like, I still think Facebook has value when it puts the branding out there, but that's really how we started our business 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And now I think it's evolved to YouTube. And I think you're 100% right on that. Shoot, I just came back from a conference in Phoenix as of yesterday with a company called Channel Junkies. I just happen to have a relationship with the owners of that business and sat down with them for 3 days on that whole YouTube channel strategy. And kudos to you. I know you saw that earlier than we did, per se, and you actually acted on it.
By following Channel Junkies.
Oh, is it? Okay. I did not know that. Okay, awesome.
Well aware of them.
Yeah, Jesse and Jackson. Yeah. Good guys. With that, and that's actually who I had on the podcast a couple weeks ago was Jesse Dow.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what's really cool is just kind of looking at is what you said, and I think I just posted that on Facebook the other day. Is right. Imperfect, consistent action will beat perfect inconsistent action. Right. Yeah. So, I would rather people get out there and get on the phones or just screw their way up through it consistently, because that's the only way you're going to get better. Versus, hey, we all know the most studied realtors in the world sit in the classes every day, all day, but yet they're broke as hell because they're afraid to get into action.
I don't even edit my videos. Yeah. I am what I am. I wear what I want. So when they see me, I have shorts on right now. This is who you're going to get. And this is who they see on the video too. I talk the same way. And so they're either going to like me or they don't. And that's, if they're contacting me, it's because they like what they see. So I don't edit anything. It's
the authenticity, right? You want to attract a crowd that's similar to you, or I should say clients that are similar to you, because there's no better people to work with than people, in my opinion, that are attracted to your personality, if you will.
Yep. Yeah. So it's definitely changed my business. And that kind of goes into why I obviously went on my own, because I no longer needed the lead gen anymore. And I went on my own, and now I'm not on a team, but it feels still like a team environment. I still do all that same kind of stuff. But it's very independent. Like, I am on my own, but it's been great. But I definitely say, if you're new, start with a team.
Yeah.
Do it. Can't do it. I would never been able to be here without.
Yeah, and I wish the message just, obviously I'm a little biased in that, but I'm biased for a reason. I think it brings success, or at least I think if everybody was forced to join a team, the right team, right? There's a lot of teams out there that are just, I'm not saying we're the best team either. I'm just saying there's a lot of teams that are structured differently. Yeah. That it's like, hey, come join me so I can take splits off of you, but I'm not going to give you any value. Well, that's a crappy team, right? But a team that can share some value with you. I just think that if agents were under like a requirement to intern, or they were under a requirement to be part of a team or something, right, that we wouldn't see that 87%. I think that number would get cut in half, if you ask me. So
yeah, I agree 100%.
And a lot of times in our model today, they self-select themselves out, because we put them through the grind. We take them through a 30, 60, 90. And I would rather them realize earlier that maybe this isn't the right business for them. Yeah. Because we're going to push them pretty hard, knowing what it takes. And you had to go through, every new agent has to go through that burn, and it's not meant for everybody.
My husband, he just got his license as well, but he would always tell me, he's like, I would watch you like door knock and do all this stuff. And I was always thinking to myself, like, he was always thinking to himself, being like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to do that. Like, I didn't have a choice. Like, a lot of people strive in that. A lot of people are really good at it. I just wasn't, but I didn't, like, I needed to make money. This is what I had to do. So,
and that's what we see out of the winners in the business, right? Is they don't really, it's human nature not to like to be uncomfortable, but I think the right people know that they have to get uncomfortable, right, to excel. And you were always one of those people that was like, you'd be straight up, I don't effing like this. That's if I'm being honest. However, I'm going to do it because I believe
I have to, because you're holding me accountable.
I remember some of those conversations. They were always lively and good. Well, thank you, Kristy. I appreciate you spending time with us today. If you guys have any Northern Colorado opportunities, we'll get her on the Facebook page. We'll get her tagged on it. Don't forget, it's Kristy Lee out of Porchlight in Longmont. And if you need anything from me, again, calendly.com/Mike Nelson IHG. We can schedule time to talk to you, get you connected with Kristy, whatever that may look like. So other than that, Kristy, I know, geez, it's crazy how we don't ever connect in our business worlds unless there's like a business connection, which this is. So I'm not sure if it's a great thing to say, but gosh, we haven't seen each other in a year, but I'm honored to be able to have the opportunity to sit with you, even though it's virtually.
Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.